There's no universal consensus about what our emotions are. There have been different theories. For example, Paul Ekman is well known for his theory and research that maps emotions to facial expressions, finding that across different cultures and locations, the same 7 emotions resulted in very similar facial expressions. And these were happiness, sadness, anger, fear, disgust, surprise, and contempt. Aristotle wrote about how our emotions were based off of our perception and judgment about the world. There's also different theories about there being primary emotions and secondary emotions. So a initial set of emotions and then these other emotions that are built off of some combination of those primary emotions, maybe to more or less degrees. Marshall Rosenberg talks about primary emotions a little bit differently, as in primary emotions are what occurs, I'll say, more naturally, and then what occurs and they're much more ephemeral. And then secondary emotions is what occurs as a reaction to these primary emotions. So, for example, anger would almost always, and maybe always, be a secondary emotion, and it would result in the primary emotion about fear or sadness, in which that then stimulated judgment about someone else. And this created anger toward that person. You could take contempt to be that just continuing for a long time. What I find really interesting about that is if we can understand in this primary versus secondary and connect with someone's emotions, whether by directly perceiving them or asking them, we can tell if they're experiencing something and just feeling that, or if it's a secondary emotion and they're having a lot of judgment or blame or criticism towards someone else. And then we can use that, even when it's our own, we can use that to help us process or to help understand someone else and to communicate with them.